Hey guys, so this is something new I'm trying. It's sort of like a solo podcast where I just draw something related to what I'm talking about kind of in the background, and you can pop me on and, do something else, draw or eat a sandwich. So today's topic will be World War II and more relevant topics such as video games, E3, and Battlefield 5. Here we go! So most of you, which is really all of you, probably wouldn't know that I'm really into history, unless you read too far into Beachfront or Beachhead. Wow, I'm already forgetting my own video titles now. Unless you read too far into it and it was like, oh, this guy's a history genius. He used video game models to make a story. Nope. Well, I mean, yeah, probably. I've always been interested in World War II specifically in terms of history, because my dad's a historian and a collector, and he showed us all of the movies that you shouldn't be showing to 3-year-olds when we were growing up, but, if any of you have seen Saving Private Ryan, and I'm sure the grand majority of you have, when I saw the D-Day scene as a child, instead of being horrified or scared, when I went to the sand pit at my local park the next day, I kept falling around in the sand like I was dying on the beachfront. And everyone was wondering what I was doing, and I annoyed the hell out of my brother for doing it. So World War II specifically has been a very big part of my life, and especially since I got to meet a few veterans. My dad actually got to hang out with a bunch of veterans from the 36th Division, the T-Patchers, and I actually got to meet a couple of them, and the Doolittle Raiders as I was growing up, so that was step number 1. Step number 2 is reenacting. Because when you're a kid, you've got to when I was a kid, when I was a me now, I have a really short attention span. So one of the better ways to get my attention and focus it on history was going to reenactments and watching everybody run around and fire blank rifles at each other in period-accurate uniforms. And then I realized, whoa, I want to do that. I want to get my own uniform and do cool stuff like that. And then it was like, well, that's cool, but now you're kind of curious, and you start, in your efforts to look as accurate as possible, you ask more questions about it, and you end up learning a whole ton about World War II. And on top of that, we had a PS2, and on the PS2 we had Medal of Honor Frontline, and it's just the way that I grew up watching my brother play games instead of me actually playing them. So I watched my brother go through Frontline probably 15 or 20 times at this point, and God, I love that game. I love watching that game, I love playing that game. Everything about that game just gets me going. It's a real fun game, and it mostly because it doesn't take itself seriously. Because, you look at footage of COD World War II, and you look up footage of Battlefield 5, and everyone wants to be dramatic and taken seriously. But Medal of Honor Frontline was made by a bunch of goobers. All of them were incredibly loose. If you look at any of the behind-the-scenes footage of how they made that game, it's really amazing that those idiots got anything together. They're not idiots. If any of them are watching, which I really highly doubt, don't hate me, please. I liked your video game that you made 15 years ago. So you might be wondering why I'm not talking about the drawing, and if you're an actual artist and you've been paying attention to the video, you might actually realize that I'm not that great of an artist. And oh dear lord, I'm going to be put into that category of people who are like, oh, my art isn't that good, and then it's perfect. But I honestly really don't think that about my art. I'm not very confident in my lines or my techniques. I was taught by literally no one. So, add that to the list of things that I figured out without anyone telling me. And I mean, it took me this long to get here, and I've been drawing since I was 2. Maybe earlier than that, and this is as good as I am. I'm gonna stop with the self-deprecation and move on to something else. Okay, so the thing that interests me the most about World War II history specifically is the individual experiences. For me, World War II isn't worth learning about if you can't hear it from the mouth of someone who was there. Because they can describe it like nobody else can. And they can really give you a glimpse into just how weird it was, how scary it was, how just it breaks your reality to experience some of these things that they've all experienced. And, so I like reading first-hand accounts, and I actually got to meet a couple of the veterans, so they got to tell me, or my dad actually got recordings of several 36th Division veteran stories, and it's like, it makes me want to make movies about all of them. They're all such interesting stories, and I think Steven Spielberg said something about Saving Private Ryan, that you just can't make these stories up, because they're fantastic. And I don't mean, like, great, like, oh, yeah, cool. It's like, they're fantastical, almost. You just couldn't believe them. Some of the stories are just absolutely ridiculous, and then other ones just kind of make you want to crawl up on the floor and cover your ears and cry. It's just, that's what interests me the most about World War II. And you know what? It's a semi-relevant topic. I mean, we are talking about World War II, so, like, tell me what you think about Battlefield 5. You excited? I think I'm gonna get it. All the new animation systems are really interesting. The contextual death animations and being able to roll around and prone and all that. Tell me what you think about it. I know there's, like, people manage to find a way to make everything political, and I'm totally not that way. As soon as politics get mentioned in a conversation, I'm totally out of there. And, it's not because I think I have an opinion that's unpopular or anything like that. It's so much trouble to be upset with somebody, Like, doesn't it just suck? Doesn't it just suck to hate somebody? I don't want that. Half of, political conversations are blaming somebody. So why would you try that? Why would you do that? Either way, Battlefield 5, tell me what you think about it. Gonna buy it, not gonna buy it? Who knows? Or, just in general, like, E3 happened. What games are you excited for? I know everyone's going crazy over Fallout 76 and, Fallout 76 and, Elder Scrolls 6. Everyone just seemed to love Bethesda at E3 this time around. Oh my god, I just realized! I completely forgot what I liked about E3 that I guarantee none of you cared about at all. Which was the EA conference when Dennis Bradwell, the lead developer of Battlefront 2, came onto stage and announced Geonosis and capital ship battles, command post-based gameplay, and General Grievous and Count Dooku. I might have said General Grievous twice, but I'm going to say it again. I guarantee you none of you care about that, but that's what I was jazzed for. I think I have terrible taste in video games. Please help me. I think that's actually what I'll end up doing next. If anyone likes this and I end up doing this again, it'll definitely be something Star Wars related. Well, I think I'm done with this drawing. I've aptly named it Out of Milk by me. And I hope this was semi-enjoyable to listen to. It's something new I'm testing out, sort of like a solo podcast. and try my best to draw something relevant in the background. So let me know if you liked it. If you didn't, remember that I have feelings. See you guys next. I don't know when I'm uploading next. I'll just see you next time. Bye.